Okay, I'm going to show you a new method I've come up with for finding the GCF and LCM when you have 3 numbers, 4 numbers, 5 numbers. And I've got a funny feeling that once you see this, that you'll never work it the same way again. So first off, we're going to do, it's just like the ladder method, 8, 18, and 24 with one minor change. Okay, we're looking for numbers that will divide into 8, 18, and 24. And I always use the number 2 until I can't use it anymore. It gives me a 4, a 9, and an 8. So now normally you wouldn't know where to go from here, but what I do is if there's a number that will divide into not all of them, but if there's a prime number that will divide into some of them, I come over here to the other side. Like 4 and 8 I know are both divisible by 2, and I'm only going to divide 4 and 8 by that. So if all of them are divisible by it, you put it here. If some of them are divisible by it, you put it here. So divide 2 into 4 gives you 2. Leave 9 the same, and 4. We can divide those two numbers by 2 again. Gives you a 1, a 9, and a 2. And there's nothing else that will divide into even 2 of those numbers. The number over here will be your GCF. That's the greatest common factor of those 3. If you multiply these 3 numbers together, it gives you an 18. Multiply these numbers together, give you a 4. Multiply the GCF times 18 times 4, and you're going to get an LCM of, let's see, that's going to be 36 times 4, which is 144. That's how you find your LCM. Let's do another one. What if your numbers are 42, 56, and 70? 42, 56, 70. Again, if it's divisible into all of them, like here we know that all these are divisible by 7. Try to use your prime numbers. Gives me a 6, an 8, and a 10. All of those are divisible by 2. They're all even. So that gives me a 3, a 4, and a 5. Will anything divide into just some of those? No. So therefore, your GCF is 14. Multiply these together down here, and that gives me 60. 14 times 60 gives you an LCM of 840. That's the largest number, or excuse me, the smallest number that all 3 of those will divide into. What if you have 4 numbers? The method is the exact same thing. So what if your 4 numbers are 90, 126, 140, and 210? And again, I always use the number 2 if they're all even, just to simplify it down. That gives me a 45, a 63, a 70, and a 105. I believe, let's see, is there anything that'll divide into all those? I can't think of anything. But what's nice is, even if you come back later and notice, well, this would have worked, you can still use it later. But I do know that some of these are divisible by 7. 45 is not divisible by 7, but 63 is, 70 is, and 105 is. Okay, let's try to think of something else. Let's see, 5 will divide into some of them. That gives me a 9, a 2, and a 3. 3 divides into some of them. Again, use prime numbers so that it comes out right. It gives me a 3, a 2, and a 1. A 3 will divide into some of them again. That gives me a 1, a 2, and a 1. The greatest common factor is 2. These numbers down here multiply to also give you 2. These numbers over here multiply to give you 315. If you multiply 315 times 2 times 2, that gives you a least common multiple of 1,260. One more time. Let's use the numbers 108, 144, 180, and 270. And again, I really like using 2 till I can't use it anymore. 2 divides into all of these. Gives you 54, 72, 90, and 135. I don't know if anything divides into all those, but I do know that 5 will divide into some of them. Gives me a 54 and a 72. Those are not divisible by 5, but this gives me an 18 and a 27. Then I notice, hey, all those are divisible by 9, so I can actually go back over to the other side, and I can use 9, or you can break it down into 3 times 3. It's good to use, it'll work with 9, but it's good to use prime numbers, just because over here, if you don't, it might mess up sometimes. So let's divide by 3. That's going to be 18, 24, 6, and 9. And you can divide by 3 again, and you see you would have got the same answer. That'd be 6, 8, 2, and 3. Some of those are divisible by 3. That gives me a 2, an 8, a 2, and a 1. Some of those are divisible by 2. And I'm going to have to erase this down here at the bottom so I've got more room. And imagine working this problem another way. That gives me a 1, a 4, a 1, and a 1. And there's nothing else that'll divide into all of those, or some of those. Your GCF is 18. That's the largest number that'll divide into them. The number down here is 4. The number over here is 30. So therefore, you have an LCM of, you're going to multiply 18 times 4 times 30. And that gives you an LCM of 2,160.